of November, which means tomorrow is the start of your advent calendar. I hope you're ready, rip-roaring to go, because the 1st of December is always the best one.
Looking for a video? Here's how it usually goes. You see our ad, you like it, you go on our website, fill out the contact form, share your brief. The brief goes to our creatives. They research, ideate, write and storyboard. We pitch it to you, you'll love it. The producers coordinate the shoot, organise the kit, the crew, a location, actors, date, call sheet, drone. Then it's lights, mics, cameras.
Action.
Here's Mike, the sound engineer.
My name's Ben.
Build the set, brief the talent, get the shot, get the other shot, pack up the gear, offload the footage, back it up some more. Seriously, back it up. Start editing, sync the audio, cut the keep the gold, stitch it together, animate, send the first draft. Sure, we make the changes, colour grade, audio mix.
God, the voiceover.
Music, sound effect, export and send. You download your video. Before you know it, it's live. People see it, engage with it, buy your product, buy your service. You hit your targets, get the client, the customers, the promotion, the car you've always wanted, start shopping in an open kimono, and finally tell your nephew you don't want to hear any more of their recorder. Perspective pictures. Looking for a video? Here's how it usually goes.
Seriously, how good is that? Right, let's get that out of the picture straight away. Back to me. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. And the reason for that was simple. Writing a video script is incredibly complex and at the same time incredibly simple. And what I want to do with you today is very quickly share with you my little presentation that I've got. Let's see if you can see that. I'm sure you can see that. Just to give you the bare bones of what I believe it takes to write a killer, a customer gaining, a competitor slaying video script for a variety of occasions. It's quite a dull presentation, but it doesn't really matter because I think it gets the message across about the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s and what you need to write a brilliant video script. And as I've always said, when it comes to writing any form of script, message, whatever it is, it all starts on day zero with research and preparation, getting your head clear. And the difference with a video script is that you've got to also think about audio as well as the visual medium. And to me, and we'll cover this later in this little presentation, in many ways, audio is as important, if not more important, than what you put in front of the face of your viewer. It's what they hear that I think counts. And again, we'll touch this later, but quite simply, a lot of people have videos on in the background. And the reason for that, podcasting has in part been guilty of that, is that people want to consume your content passively. It's not that it's not getting in, it's that they're doing it on their terms. So interesting. Right, so when it comes to a video script, and by the way, this was my kind of first request, and I'm very excited. Copy Shop Live has finally got a purpose. Someone wanted to know my routine for writing video scripts, and so I've been kind enough, because I'm a kind of guy, and it's December tomorrow, to share my secret sauce, my formula, so that you can play along with me. And the next time you're doing a video, and by the way, do a video. And I'll tell you why you need to do one today, later, but crucially, it's all about getting yourself out there and showing people a different side to you and your brand. No more about that for now. Two different approaches, and I'll tell you for why. One is very much a storytelling approach, and one is very much an outcomes-based approach. And if you have a presentation that's got a very, very specific objective, so we'll cover the different kinds of objective that a video can achieve later in this presentation. But fundamentally, storytelling is taking people on a journey, and storytelling typically is for growing community, growing awareness, brand reputation, all the kind of the softer stuff, but that's got a very specific message. Also, if you're a charity, and you're really keen on getting people on board your bus for the ride to help them understand the purpose, the motive, the mission and the vision of your organization, this approach too works a treat. But let's cover the first one first, and this is the simplest one. Right, so you want to sell stuff. You don't sell the stuff, you sell the sizzle. Not the sausage, it's the sizzle. So think in the shoes of your persona, exactly what it is that they need from you. Listen meticulously to feedback. Feedback is everything. Customers will tell you what you need to know. Customers are your North Star. It amazes and shocks me how many businesses ignore or overlook every little nugget of information that's shared with them, either tacitly or implicitly, via their audience, via their community, via their customers. If you've got a call center, that is an embarrassment of riches. Everything that goes through those phone lines or into the VoIP, that's so important stuff, and that needs to be documented anonymously, unless you ask for their permission to reply and get them involved in customer focus groups and talk to them in more detail with the MD by your side and dig into the details of a common complaint or a symptom of your business's success. That needs to be captured, right? So, and that's going to be the inspiration for the video typically, or like I'll cover shortly in this presentation, all you want to do at this point, if you're fresh to video, and you'll be seeing out there how every kind of visual medium is exploding. I don't know if you saw yesterday, by the way, that Netflix is now working cheek by jowl with Spotify to host all of the podcasts and the audio accessories to its video output. Fascinating intersection of the two, and it proves a point that audio is just as important as video coming along for that multimedia ride to arouse and inspire your customer communities. The hook is the reason for the video. What is it that you want to tell people? What's the message that you want to communicate? What is it important that your customer knows? Now, really, ruthlessly, if you've just got a 30-second video, that could be all hook and straight to call to action. But if you've got a minute video, minute and a half, the hook is the teaser, it's the trailer, it's the, hey, we came from a world of triffids, there was no escape, and then the plant struck. Right, it's the few seconds that are singly the most important part of your entire production. The hook is by the book. And when I say write word for word, this is key. If you're presenting the video, and even if you're an accomplished producer, presenter, talent, host, imagine you're a car. Imagine it's a frosty morning and you don't have to do much imagination at 8 o'clock in the morning on November the 30th. Your engine is stone cold. Your owner turns the key. You burst into life, but at your pace. Everything's starting to warm up and tick over. And if your owner hits the gas pedal, the accelerator, and goes hell for leather, things are going to go wrong. Your head gasket is going to blow, piston broke, all these kind of things. The damage is palpable. If you get into it slowly, 25 miles an hour, just a gentle canter, your car's going to warm up and it's going to be ready for anything. And the same applies to delivering the hook. When you write the script for the video, make the hook word for word. Get slowly into the video. And then it's into the content. The content's the meat and potatoes. The content is the stuff where you expand. And let's not forget with the hook, if you're on YouTube world, you've got about 5 seconds to capture the hearts and imagination of your viewers. It's got to be succinct. It's got to be powerful. It's got to be like He-Man in a script. So what's the one thing that your viewer needs to know about what you're about to tell them? If you're introducing a new member of staff, find something out about them that's just really inspiring or curious. Maybe they're a triathlete. Maybe they've got some great photos from when they were knit bombing their local community at Christmas. Something that's unexpected. Maybe your MD is into crocheting. That would be awesome. Show a different side to the person. Show a different side to anything. And that is your hook. Content is where you're getting into the details. And by the way, I haven't got a script for this. The reason is that I want to expose my personality to you. This is about empathy. This is about you and me having this conversation, and you don't script a chat. Just so you know, there will be some flubs. I do flub. when I'm not scripted, and that's fine. Teleprompters can take care of business when I'm presenting Good Morning Britain, but for now, this is enough. The content is fleshing out the details, and that's taking your viewer on a journey. Aim for about a minute most. You don't want the whole thing to take any longer than 90 seconds. You'd be lucky to keep people for 45. But if you've got a really important message to deliver, 90 seconds tops for a video. Unless you're writing a mockumentary and it's serialized, people will stick around them for maybe 5 minutes at a time at the most. The call to action again is like the other side of the sandwich. This is where you're getting to the point where people are getting the information they need to do to take an action, to move to the next level. And you can have the call to action as a lower third, that little strap that sits at the bottom of the video, all the way through. You'll see I had one of those earlier on when I showed you the video that I was so inspired by yesterday about the video course. Dave@wordandmouth.com if you want to join in, but that's completely up to you because we'll be covering a lot of the content that you're getting today for free with lots more attached. That's approach one. Approach two is very much about focusing on a problem and figuring it out. And the reason why I mentioned charities is so important here is that I was working with a charity that works in Uganda with trying to essentially outlaw what do they call those things that kids go into? Orphanages. Jeez, mine. Horrendous. Memories all-time low at the moment. It's 5 past 10 past 8. I've been going forever. It's like a roller coaster. Trying to get rid of orphanages because they do not help the very youngest members of our population to assimilate into community. And when there's one mother between 10, it creates a lot of panic, confusion, anxiety in the young children. What the children really need is to reintegrate into society and be fostered or be adopted and live in a secure family environment. So there's a story there, and the setup is, how do you feel about the fact that 50,000 children are facing mental breakdowns and are feeling such severe internal turmoil that they're contemplating suicide? How do you feel about that? Choking up? The conflict is that there's lots and lots of children who need care. And where does the care come from? Well, we need stronger communities. We need people who are willing to put their neck on the line and look after these children. What's the solution or the resolution? It's to fund programs. And you can help us fund these community reintegration programs for kids from the age of birth all the way through to 15. Very straightforward approach or formula to how we do videos. Right, so objective time. What is it that you're looking to achieve through your video script? There are 3 main things. One is grow community. We talked about that a little bit before, and this is where approach 2 generally works better than approach 1 because you're not trying to sell stuff. The only thing you're trying to sell is affiliation, is the benefits of being part of the tribe. And that takes a slightly different approach. That isn't really hook content call to action. That's set up all the way through to resolution. Set up conflict resolution. Sell stuff is obviously the main reason that most people create any kind of marketing content. And so to sell stuff, great, but you're not selling in a video. You're asking for permission to talk to your prospective customer, which is why the onus here is 100% on delivering value, whether the value is entertainment to make that person feel good, whether it's trying to find a solution to a problem that they can get for free, that is almost like a gateway drug or a lead magnet to get them into your funnel to essentially ultimately buy the product, or to make money off the actual video. And that is where YouTube monetization comes in. And lots of people are all about that right now. And it's still there, it's still important. Casey Neistat is still making a very comfortable living just off producing videos, but the videos are increasingly higher quality every year. The kit gets better, the learning continues, and the storytelling continues to rise in quality. Something to think about. And here's just a few things that I wanted to share with you because I think they're useful. And we've only got one more slide left after that, and I think we're pretty much done for now. Cannot reiterate to you enough how those first few seconds are important. So whatever the message is, whatever the thing that you're trying to hide under a bushel, whatever the thing that you're thinking, oh, do you know what, let's leave that for the end, bring it to the beginning. Because once you've got people in, it's like Joseph Sugarman goes on again about the slippery slide. Once you get people in, this is your headline, is your hook. What? That's amazing. Think back to the video we watched earlier when it was all about identifying and empathizing with the pain point of the customer. When you're working with an established video company, you want them to take you by the hand, but all too often that ask will be too great to sustain for your organization because you're not in this game. You're having an expert over here talk to a novice over here in their language when actually you need to meet somewhere in the middle. That doesn't happen all too often with agencies of any stripe. Personality and authenticity is key because you will not capture and continue to talk to your viewer unless you've got something to sell them from your heart. This is not just about selling tangible things. This is about selling the talent, and the talent must be fully invested in the video production. Remember that at all counts. And lastly, yes, if you want to just get into this game and you've never done this before, you've written a blog post, you've written a report, you've got an annual report, you've got it there. Talk the highlights, use some B-roll footage just to illustrate it and keep the pace. And maybe that was actually cheat sheet number 4 is be quick about it. Slow and steady does not win the race here. And lastly, here's your 6 steps to success. This is what you are here for. B-roll is key. You can get free B-roll footage from lots of places. You could go to Pixabay is a great one. Petals is a great one. Petels. You could go, and B-roll doesn't necessarily need to be film footage. It can be static images. So you could go to unsplash.com and download a bunch of really interesting images. But look for free or Creative Commons video clips. Download a ton, get used to it. I remember a few months ago, as a project, I just took 10 clips at random, very short clips, interspersed them in Adobe Premiere Pro, and wrote a script around it just to keep sharpening the saw. Those clips were in no way connected to one another. Cheers. Coffee shop. Rank tea today. It's a bit too early for it. Audio first. I mentioned this before. I cannot overstate the importance of this. Having the right audio, having the right microphone. This is just a headset. You know, I've got a Heil PR40 mic when I need to get and do voiceovers, and that's fine. They do say that the best microphone is the one you have right now, and to a point that's true. But if you're getting serious about your video and you want people to watch it, you want to get to the viewing time, the average viewing time, more and more and more, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute. You need to be obsessed with your audio, just as you do with your lighting, just as you do with the video quality. So invest a lot in the microphone. And there's a Blue Yeti, which is all right. Rode do what I think right now are some of the best video audio kit, and also Sennheiser. You can't go wrong. And if you're going to get a lav mic with a wireless setup, the Rode Video Mic Go is brilliant, and you can then record on your phone and let the chapter and let the magic begin. Don't be scared of using this as opposed to something that's quite professional just to get started. As long as it's stable, as long as you've got it secured against something and it's not moving, and you aren't either, while you get used to the routine, you're going to get an output that is accessible and acceptable, because that's actually what I meant. And if you intersperse the content that you've created with B-roll, you're going to get quite a nice result. And you can use a platform like Canva to put that together to start with for free. Doesn't need to be costing the earth. Just get out there and get in the game. Number 6 is for you. Make one point really well. This is key. What is it that you want to sell? Get it in the hook, talk about it in the content, and then finish off with a call to action. just to remind people what they've heard and why it's so important to them. I always say freestyling works if you want to establish a relationship and some rapport with your viewer. If your talent is invested in this video production, then they will go to the ends of the earth to learn about the key topics. And they'll be able to talk about them with authority, and they'll be able to relate to your audience with them. If not, you've got two options. You either go back down the scripting route. There are 3 levels for me of scripting detail. One is the key topics, just talk about these, just list them out. Second one is list out the key topics and then put bullet points under each one, and that will then give people some kind of running order, some kind of flow, or script word for word. I would never in a million years advocate scripting word for word for the content. Number 2, the second part of your video, not in a million years. Call to action, yeah. So sandwich, meat, riff, bread, script word for word. And finally, like I mentioned, experiment. Video, once you've bought your gear, is free apart from the time that you devote to it. The time of planning, researching, storyboarding, getting the talent together, recording, editing, publishing. It all takes time, which means it all takes money. But the essence of the production is free. So experiment, go out there, rehearse, but don't rehearse to the point where it feels prescriptive. That's not what you want. I'm going to switch out of that now. We're going to get out of that. Bring me back. Thank you for listening today. I've been going on for 20 minutes. I can only apologise. That's embarrassing, but really useful, I think, I hope. An introduction to video scripts, which I think really sort of, I don't know, makes me feel really quite exciting and excited. I have got a video course in the works. So if you want to learn this stuff and you want to have a really good time doing it, join me. And I'm looking for registrations of interest at this stage because I've got the bones. I just haven't got the full course written. If you're interested, talk to me and I'll get it to you. We'll make this work and we'll make some great videos together. Thanks for joining. It's Copy Shop Live for Wednesday, the 30th of November. Have a great start to the new month.